me, Claire Baker, former Clutterholic and founder of clutterclearing.net, recording my weekly vlog about my weight loss clutter clearing journey. So how did I get on? I've weighed myself this morning and I stayed the same weight, which I was very surprised at, actually. I was expecting a weight gain. In terms of my feedback as to how I've got on, it's been a bit of a tough week. It's felt tough because the desire to eat has been strong and I haven't always managed to resist it. I went out on last Tuesday. I met a friend for lunch and I had, I met her at a coffee shop and I had a sandwich, a toasted sandwich. And I don't normally eat bread. And then I followed that with a piece of carrot cake, which was really lovely. But there was that conversation going on in my head that I shouldn't be eating it. I didn't need it. Yes, it was nice, but I can still enjoy carrot cake without having to eat it. Just like I tell my ladies with their clutter clearing, we don't have to buy something to prove that we like it or appreciate it. And the same applies to food. And I haven't managed to nail that yet. I need to get a grip with that purely because I can't only ever eat at home for the rest of my life. I kind of need to get the hang of social eating. So I felt a bit bad about that. Again, thought, no, it's fine. Don't beat yourself up, Claire. We've got that perfectionist in us, haven't we? Whether we have physical clutter in our home or whether it's weight clutter, there's that. Well, I have that internal dialogue going on where I berate myself when I'm not perfect, if I don't do something perfectly. But again, what I've learnt over the last 10, 15 years is that it's okay. We only learn with the feedback. That is the challenge as well. Whether it's our physical clutter or our weight clutter, we are trying to break old habits, and old habits are very, very ingrained. And the older we get, the harder they are to break. So again, it kind of got to the end of Tuesday, felt bad for having eaten more than I knew I needed to eat. There was a bit of a stodge fest going on as well. Like my counsellor says, when you eat carbs and sugar, you kind of feel better and then half an hour later you want to eat more. Oh yes, had that on Tuesday. And for some reason I kind of let it go a bit on Wednesday, which is normally a fast day. So I would normally just have an omelette in the evening, and I did pick out a bit during the day on snacks. So I didn't go over my daily calorie level, but because it's a fast day to offset going over on the feed days, it meant that it didn't have the normal effect. And then on Thursday, my husband and I had a meeting outside the home, and we went off to the same coffee shop I went to on Tuesday to have a cup of tea and just talk about what we were going to do away from home. And I had another sandwich. We got two different kinds, had half each. And again, I was sitting there eating it thinking, I don't need this. I don't want this. I know that this is not going to make me feel great. And again, I kind of beat myself up a bit. I didn't have the carrot cake. So that's a good thing, because I do love the carrot cake from there. But yes, so annoyed with myself, and I know I shouldn't be. Be kind to yourself, Claire, for goodness sake. Treat myself with compassion. That phrase always makes me want to cry. So yeah, I ate out twice this week, and I did kind of start to notice a pattern. I actually sat down and just thought about it on Sunday. Just kind of try and understand what's been going on over this last week. Why have I self-sabotaged myself several times? Because at a logical, intelligent level, I know that I've done things that I would be better not doing for the sake of my weight loss. And I can kind of see a pattern. And no surprises that I learned and realised that I am an emotional eater, because there were a couple of events that happened this week that were emotional. One was worry. The other one was going back to a childhood emotional response. And it resulted in the eating. Feeling bad about myself because of something somebody had said. And that led to me feeling bad and getting comfort from food. When I was growing up, I didn't have a lot of emotional support, and therefore hugs and reassurance was not part of the way that emotional situations were dealt with. I self-comforted, if you like, with food. I remember one of my earliest memories is I must have been about 4 or 5 years old. It was of climbing up onto the counter in the kitchen and going into the dog's cupboard in the kitchen and eating Shape biscuits. That's a particular make of I suspect they still do them for dogs. The dog was called Heidi. We had a golden retriever called Heidi, and I've got a vision, a memory of her sitting on the floor. I'm on the stool, climbing up onto the counter, going into her cupboard and basically stealing her biscuits. I liked the yellow ones in particular. And that was because I was hungry. I remember being hungry back in that memory. So food became from an early age a comfort, a response to an emotional situation, because, like I say, I didn't grow up in a family where things were talked about, where emotion was kind of dealt with and issues were dealt with. So, and I know I'm not alone in that, that's fine. But yeah, so this week in particular, when I sat down and thought about it, I realised that there is this going on. And what I've realised I probably need to do is to change my response. So when I am aware that I'm kind of sinking into that low because of things that happen or things that are said or triggers, that actually that's when I need to change my response. So instead of kind of sitting there and wallowing in it, not that I'm sitting there consciously wallowing of it, but my mood dips, my brain starts to go over time analysing and thinking about what's been said or done. That's when I need to do something. Now, whether that is a matter of going off and doing exercise, I don't know. That's what I need to figure out. And I will talk to my counsellor today when I see her. So a significant week, I think, and I kind of need to shift as a result of it. The next success factor that I talk about every week is the method, and I'm back to the swimming. Started swimming again yesterday. Last week, my husband and I got back into going to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we both really enjoyed it. It was quite funny with the New Year blitz of people. Again, my counsellor says, don't worry, in 3 weeks' time they'll all be gone because they won't maintain it beyond the first month. So that's I'm sure that's true for some of them. Do enjoy feeling it. I can feel it across my shoulders this morning from the swimming because I do 50 lengths. So it was nice to get back into that, and that lifts my mood. That's why I'm thinking that maybe my change in response to where I would normally emotionally eat is to do some form of exercise. Third success factor, which is doing the doing. I am doing that. Even though I binged last week on food, it was only at the coffee shop that it was the bread and the cake and the carbs and the sugar. When I was overeating at home, it was at least the things that are in my normal eat, the things that I normally eat. So maybe that helped a bit with not having put on weight this week. I am going to up my doing the doing. I am going to register to do a swimathon at the beginning of April. And what's quite nice is that I may be doing this with my brother. Back in 2003, apparently, he remembers the date, I don't, but before I met my husband, I used to go swimming every lunchtime at the local swimming baths in Watford. And I did the swimathon then. My brother was doing it at another swimming pool not far, just down the road. And so we did it together, and we did it for sponsorship, and that was really nice. Now my brother wants to get fit, so having a goal, a short-term goal to work towards will be great. That's if the pool isn't too crowded for him to train in. I find that actually getting in the pool at 9 o'clock, at night, I have the whole lane to myself, so it's great. It'll be good to have something to work towards. For me, I will need to increase the number of lengths I do. I do 50 lengths at the moment, so I will need to build up to 100 lengths. So that could take me an hour to do. That's fine. But again, for me, it'd be nice to have a goal, a short-term goal to work towards, to increase my doing in terms of the exercise and the fitness. I know that the exercise and the fitness only accounts for 20% of the weight loss, but again, if it helps with the mood and all the other factors, and it'll be doing something for good. It'll be for cancer, raising money for cancer, so good cause. So that's doing the doing. The support, success factor, continuing with the counselling. It's interesting actually, because at the end of last year I was kind of thinking, oh, do I need to carry on doing the counselling, because I kind of feel like everything's on a level, but again, hitting these, I'm going to call them bumps in the road, because they're not stopping me, they're just slowing me down a bit. It is good to have that routine of every week I get to talk about things that are going on. Last week I learnt, no surprise, that I do overthink things, over-analyse, trying to understand them, and some things we just aren't ever going to understand. We just kind of need to learn how to deal with them. And I also had a massive breakthrough, because I've almost felt like I've had to choose or balance losing weight and doing well with work. And that, there's no reason why I can't have huge success in both. But there's an element of me that doesn't feel like that I deserve to succeed at both. And again, that is rooted in my past. So that's something that I'm kind of going to work on. I have done an NLP coaching technique, which is called the Hero's Journey. That was really helpful. I did that at the weekend. So again, that's something I can build on. Again, with all these things, you're never going to get the answer straight away. There is no simple one ingredient, I think. So this deserving to get to my ideal weight, size, fitness is the next kind of brick in the wall, I suppose, that I need to kind of work on a bit, along with the changing my response to emotional situations. Last thing, in terms of the time, we know time is a success factor in any particular challenge. So by the swimathon, which is at the beginning of April, I think it's during the first week of April, my goal is going to be to have lost another stone, or 14 pounds in weight. I think that's realistic. So it's January, February, March, April, 3 months. 3 months. So that's just over £3 a week. I think that's realistic. Again, that gives me a goal. If I'm building up the number of lengths that I'm doing, that will help certainly with the toning and the shaping. If I can kind of deal with the issue of the feeling I don't deserve to succeed, and the finding a different response to the emotional eating, then that should be completely achievable. Let me know how you've got on, and let me know I'm not the only one who's had a little bit of a tough week. It's mentally tough, I think, as opposed to physically tough. It's our mind that gets in the way, isn't it? As always. Okay, I hope you've had a good week. Please don't feel that you have to find challenges to share just to let me know. But do put comments, because I do find them really, really helpful. All right, have a good week. I will see you the same time, same place next week. Take care. Bye bye.